Hello students. So let's see conditional jump instructions. So in the last video we have discussed unconditional jump instruction. Now let's see conditional jump instruction. So this jump instruction works with or check the condition of the conditional flags. We know there are six conditional flags: carry flag, overflow flag, auxiliary carry flag, then sign flag, zero flag, and parity flag. Okay, so these are the six conditional flags present. These instruction, conditional jump instruction, check the condition of these flags. Depends, like if it is a JC. Okay, so this instruction will check the carry flag, jump on carry or jump on no carry. So these two instructions, they check the condition of the carry flag. If jump on carry is, if carry is set is equal to 1, then the displacement, the execution is transferred to a displacement specified here. If in case of jump on no carry, if carry is not there, then the execution is transferred to the displacement specified in the instruction. Okay, so these instructions generally they follow compare or test instructions. Okay, so condition is to be checked first and then the execution can be transferred. Okay, so these follow the instructions like compare and test instruction. So here the jump can be forward or backward. This jump instruction, like conditional jump instruction, I say jump on carry. Okay, so this displacement which you specify here next, so this displacement, it can be to a location or the displacement is positive here. Okay, the execution is transferred to the display. Actually in conditional jump the displacement is 8-bit displacement. Always in any conditional jump instruction, it is the 8-bit displacement which is specified in the instruction. The operand here specified is 8-bit displacement, not 16-bit, only 8-bit. So the conditional jump is limited to minus 128 bytes to plus 127 bytes. That means forward jump is 127 bytes forward it can go, or 128 bytes backward. The jump can be to a location which is less than this. Okay, back to this particular location. So let's see, this is positive. Here the displacement is positive because let us suppose the instruction, the address of this particular instruction where it is present is 406. This will be more than this, isn't it? Here after 3, or let us suppose the bytes are, these are 3 instructions. 3 instructions can be more number of bytes. It can be 3 bytes or it can be 6 bytes also. Okay, so this is, let us suppose the number of bytes here is 6. That means this plus 6 is the displacement is 6. Here in the place of next, it should be 6 specified in the instruction. Jump on carry 6. What is this 6? This is the 8-bit displacement. So when this instruction is executed, what happens? The present IP contents will be added with the displacement, 8-bit displacement. Here the 8-bit displacement is like sign copied 16-bit displacement. Here you will specify sign copied 16-bit displacement. Why it is like this? Here it is what we are specifying here is 8-bit, but we are adding with the 16-bit register. So this should be converted to 16-bit. Okay, so in the displacement, 8-bit displacement, most significant bit will represent the sign. Okay, so there are how many bits here? 7 more bits which are there to specify the magnitude or to specify the displacement. So that is the reason why the displacement can be this many number of bytes forward or backward, because only 7 bits are there for the displacement magnitude. Okay, so let us suppose the displacement is 6. Then the sign, this indicates the sign bit. So sign bit is copied to another 8 bits, most significant bits. So it will be all zeros. And then the instruction pointer contents are added with that to generate the new address of this particular location. Okay, why signed? In case of negative, like if it is a backward, this one, it is, that means the displacement is -6. So -6 here is represented in its 2's complement form. -6 is represented, you should specify the displacement in its 2's complement form. Negative displacement, that's why you should specify it in 2's complements form. So that indicates that the displacement is backwards, not to the forward jump, it is the backward jump. Okay, so this is added to the instruction pointer contents. Automatically the generated address will be the backward address than this one. Okay, so this is about the conditional jump, the how you specify the displacement and how it is calculated. Okay, we have the jump instructions. Yeah, these are the conditional jump instructions, different conditional jump instructions. Like I have written all of them here. Jump if above, or jump if not below or equal to. Okay, so these instructions will verify the sign of the bit or the carry sign of the this one sign flag. Okay, so these refer to unsigned binary numbers. Okay, so these instructions refer to unsigned binary numbers. When you compare two unsigned binary numbers, then here you use this jump if above or jump if below. Okay, here above means here larger in magnitude, but in case of signed binary numbers, you should use these instructions. When you compare two signed binary numbers, then you can use these instructions, jump if greater or jump if less. Okay, so these refer to signed binary numbers. Greater here means more positive. Okay, then jump if carry, this will check the carry flag. Jump if no carry and jump if carry, they check the carry flag, and the execution is transferred accordingly. Then jump if no overflow or jump if overflow. Then jump if no parity. Okay, or jump if parity. Then jump if no sign or jump on sign, that means sign bit is equal to 1, then the execution is transferred. Okay, so these are the conditional jump instructions. So let's see one example program. So program to check the contents of register AL. So this is just to get an idea on jump conditional and unconditional jump instructions. Let's write a small program. So here is the conditions given. If AL is equal to 0 and the contents of BH and BL. Okay, and if AL is equal to 1 or the contents of BH, BL, and AL equal to 2, then XOR BH, BL. So these are the conditions. It's like a case statement. You can implement how you can write a program for such conditions. Let's see. Okay, so let us suppose there is a program which how this value is loaded to AL register and all, that will not refer here. Okay, so start the program and start from the compare this one. Okay, if AL is equal to 0, 0. Okay, compare to find whether AL contents is 0, 0 or not. Let's use the instruction compare AL contents with 0, 0, H, with the number 0, 0, H. So if it is equal to 0, then 0 flag will be set. Okay, so it will be jump on, 0 flag will be set. So if it is equal, then contents and the contents of BH and BL. If it is not equal, then go to check AL is equal to 1 or not. Okay, so it's better we use jump on no 0. We can use jump on equal also, the equal and not equal also. Jump on no 0 to, let's give a label. Next one. Okay, let's give a label. I don't know where it will go. We'll see while writing the program. So compare, and if it is not equal, what I need to do? I need to compare whether it is equal to 1. If it is equal, what I should do? When it is equal, I need to AND the contents of BHBL. So let us, if it is equal, it will come to the next instruction, isn't it? So here you write AND contents of BHBL. Okay, so the result will be in BH register. Okay, so now after ANDing, you need not verify whether it is equal to 1 or 2. You need not continue with the program. You will go to the end of the program. So jump, how you can come out of the loop, how you come out of this program is jump to last. Okay, let us see where to keep these labels. Okay, so if it is equal, and these contents and go to the end of the program. If it is not equal, then I have to verify whether it is equal to 1. So here compare AL with 1. So now here I can place the label next 1, isn't it? So that means if it is not equal to 0, that means number is not equal, then it should check whether it is equal to 1. Okay, so compare AL with 1. Now here also, if it is equal, then AND the contents of BHBL. That means next instruction is jump on no 0 to next 2. If they are not equal, then we should verify whether it is, need not verify because there is no other condition. If it is not equal to 0, not equal to 1, then it will be equal to 2. Okay, so jump on no 0 to next. If it is 0, that means if they are equal, then what I need to perform? AND BH BL. Okay, then sorry, here it is, if it is equal to 1, it is OR the contents of BHBL. So here OR BHBL, and come to next instruction, that is go to the last of the program. If no 0, if it is not equal to 1, not equal to 0, not equal to 1, that means it will be equal to 2. There are only 3 conditions. Okay, it will be equal to 2. So we can write here directly, if it is equal to 2, what is the operation? XOR. XOR BH BL. Okay, so this next 2 will come here, isn't it? So next 2 will come here. Now after all this, so move the contents, or you can stop the program here, move the contents of BH to some memory location. Okay, or we can halt the program here, stop the program here, and the last is, it will come here. Okay, understood? So here this is how the comparison conditional jump and unconditional jump instruction is used. Both instructions are used here. So compare AL with 0, 0. If no 0, then compare with 1. If no 0, compare with, no need of comparison, XOR is done. If it is 0 and these two contents, and come out of the program, come to the end of the program. If it is, compare with 0, 1. If it is equal here, then OR and come to the end of the program. Okay, so this is how you can write a program using conditional and unconditional jump instructions. Okay, so let's continue with some more branch instructions in the next video.